And now time to focus on Marico, and it's had a strong third quarter. The sales are up 7%, the PAT is up 23%. The EBITDA came in at 292 crore rupees. There's a strong 10% volume growth. The stock is up 2%. Saugata Gupta, Managing Director and CEO at Marico, now joining us. Thank you very much for joining us on NDTV Profit. Let's talk about the solid volume growth of 10%. Break it down.
So if you really look at it, I think we have undertaken a couple of things that delivered this growth. I think first is proactive pricing calls, especially at a time when consumption continued to be a little sluggish. Number two is I think there were some of the problem franchises where we have actually set it right, like Saffola. And thirdly, I think our investment behind innovation. So a significant portion of what we have gained in commodity costs, we have plowed back behind A&P and pricing. So all this has led to this growth. And having said that, I think we aspired to get into the 8 to 10% growth level. And if under these circumstances, if we continue to deliver 100% execution and do what we are doing, we should be able to deliver 8 to 10% growth in the coming quarters.
Right, sir. I was just looking at that volume growth picture, and it's certainly a strong one. You've done some changes in Saffola. Will that lead continue to sort of consolidate or add in the coming quarters, you think?
Yes, definitely. So obviously we have done a 16. I think 16 is a tad higher because of the low base and the fact that it's a festival season moving from quarter to quarter three, some of the festival season demand. But I think what we have done in terms of selective pricing calls as well as massification of the TG by pushing some of the entry point variants, I believe that Saffola's double-digit growth is definitely possible.
Okay. Sir, deflation in the near term is going to keep the volumes of Parachute weak?
See, what we have done is very simple. I think as far as we are concerned, our entire philosophy is to maximize volume growth and market share. Therefore, we have to pass on the benefit to the consumers. I think in the coming 2-3 quarters, what you will see is that our volume growth higher than value growth because of the Parachute deflation. And that will continue. And during a deflation time, there would be some volatility in volumes of Parachute simply because of the fact that we would like the consumer to experience the lower price stocks as fast as possible, and therefore we will operate with a thin pipeline.
So when you've given a guidance of 8 to 10% growth, it's Saffola that you see contributing really meaningfully to that growth?
I think 8 to 10% is a fairly realistic number. Obviously, one of the franchises which is still not picked up is our youth franchise, which is the ex-Paras portfolio, which has Gel, which is doing well. Livon, we have just about restaged, and in fact, the Dio we are restaging as we speak this month. We have a very new power-packed, this one Dio is concerned. We have also got on board Ranveer as our new brand ambassador. So we hope with that we should be able to get the youth portfolio back on track.
So international business, how did it do in the third quarter?
See, I think our impact on currency, yes, there are some currency devaluation in South African business, but a significant portion of our impact has been less. Firstly, compared to a lot of other peers, our international business contribution is only 25%. So therefore, that itself reduces the risk. Secondly, I think as far as we are concerned, there were some internal issues in international business in terms of our capability and execution, which we have got it right. So I think international business will continue to grow. We have taken certain calls on Parachute pricing in Bangladesh, which will lead to some deflation. But I think as long as we continue to go volumes, it's okay. As far as international business is concerned, our endeavor will be obviously to also reduce the geopolitical risk and in terms of currency risk through a better mix of countries. And in that context, we are looking at Southeast Asia and East Africa to expand.
Okay, distribution and innovation, are those going to be the two key levers for growth here on at Marico?
Distribution, I think, is a key. I think distribution or go-to market and innovation are two of our key transformation areas. We are still not best in class in both, and therefore one of the endeavor has to be that by 2018 April, where we have taken as a target in our transformation journey, we need to be top quartile in both of it. And I think there is enough opportunities. I think we Our track record innovation is improving. I think the biggest thing is, I think, our success in foods and some of the value-added hair oils. We need to improve our track record in innovation and international business, and you will see some of it panning across in the next couple of years. Similarly, there's huge opportunity in distribution also. So these are one of the two most critical pivots in our growth.
What would you say about consumer demand post-festive season? Is there a pickup visible?
We are very hopeful about urban consumption picking up. We have seen some signs this quarter. Modern trade seemed to be good. We strongly believe that there would be some gradual urban recovery. As far as rural is concerned, it is a little soft, especially in certain states which had 2 consecutive years of drought. So that is one which we have to wait and watch.
But you mentioned rural, and I wanted to get a sense from you on whether you think that rural is now at its bottom demand-wise.
So I would agree with that, and I think I believe that I think the impact has not been that significant if we have been able to pass on in terms of pricing and affordability, which are critical factors whenever there is consumption sluggishness. Obviously, there are certain states which had drought, and therefore the next green shoot would be as far as rains are concerned. So that we have to wait and watch, but as I said, that I think one has to, at the same time, I think there are enough opportunities in driving distribution and getting the pricing right to maintain a certain base level of growth in rural.
Well, I'm going to leave it at that. Saugata Gupta, thank you very much for joining us on NDTV Profit, and all the best in the months ahead. After the break, we have Prabodh Agarwal, Group CFO at IIF.